a hole in my Tacoma for more storage. Hope it goes well. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Robmotive. Today I am cutting a hole in my Tacoma to add more storage. I've talked about this. There's been some previous videos about adding the Cubby, the large Cubby that Toyota removed from the driver's side of the Tacoma, right in that area. And it is right here. And I'll leave part numbers and stuff at the end of the video if you're interested in getting one of these and doing it yourself. But what I've done, I made a pattern, and I actually just took a bigger piece of cardboard, took this one out because they are the same size, this one that houses the small Cubby and the outlet, put the cardboard behind it, traced the opening, and then basically cut out the center so I'd have a pattern. Now, as far as placing it, you know, I'm not a big measurement kind of guy. I'd rather have patterns, right? So what I did, I had just anything laying around, really. This just happens to be some end caps for 2x4s. But when you put them together, they fit right here in this opening, right? Just like that. So I use this as my spacer on the side to be able to determine where to put my pattern right there. You see, it fits right in there, hopefully. And that gives me the distance from this little edge here, right here. So just like that. Then I just took a couple of pieces of standard cardboard, slid them underneath the bottom over there, just to make sure that I get the right distance from the bottom. They fit snugly under there, so obviously I put them under here so they'd fit snugly here. They're not real snug, and it's probably off a little bit, millimeters, who knows. And then of course, tape the pattern up there so I could trace around. I'm just gonna use a silver Sharpie marker to trace my hole, and then I'm gonna cut that out using an oscillating saw. That's the plan. Now, it's going to be a little interesting for me because I've never used an oscillating saw before, so I hope I have a little skill with it. But let's go ahead, trace the opening, and then we'll get that saw out and make the cut. That's really the hardest part. Let's practice our kindergarten skills once again. I find they come in very handy for stuff like this. Not sure which is the best way to do this, sitting up here or down on the ground. I think on the ground. But let's trace the top first. We're going right up against the edge, just like so. Hopefully I have a nice line on there. Now I'll trace down to the bottom. Okay, hopefully that's showing up over here on the edge. And then, of course, across the bottom. My pen has seen better days. There. That gives me my opening to cut. Now, there is a little fudge room. I could sand a little off if I need to, and I may retrace that with a different pen, but you get the idea. There is my opening, obviously with the pattern gone. So now it's time to break out the saw and try to cut that piece out. We got it all set up, got my blade ready here, did a couple tests on a piece of plastic I had just to see what this thing feels like. It's going to be very loud, so there's a warning for you. We're going to go ahead and just dive right in. I might chicken out and switch to a handsaw or a saber saw, a jigsaw, if I don't get a good feel with this, but it seemed to be pretty easy to use. Let's go. Full disclosure, I chickened out. I'm not going to use the oscillating saw because I'm just not comfortable with it. But I am comfortable with a jigsaw. So we're going to use a jigsaw. I got to drill a hole to get started, and then we're going to cut with this. Wanted to check and see how deep the hole is before I stick a blade in there and drill right through the other side of my truck. Plenty of space, as you can see. This is probably, I don't know, 6 inches. Doesn't hit anything. So I think we're okay. All right, let's see what we can do here. No holes through the outside of the truck. That's always a good thing. Nice clean line. I think we're okay. Obviously past the point of no return now. So I'm going to go ahead, cut the rest of it out, see what happens. Look at what it did to the blade. Look at those teeth. If you can see that, they're gone. This stuff eats saw blades. So I'm going to put a new one in now. Okay, the hole is cut. Actually pretty easy to do with a jigsaw. If you have a jigsaw, saber saw, I would use that. It's pretty simple to do. Now, we've got the hole cut, there it is, and I got to admit, I had a scare. I put it in, and it fits, but it doesn't line up. It doesn't go all the way in. See this gap here? Oh my God. So I thought, of course, first off, oh my God, there's not enough room. I'm hitting the fender, the edge of the bed, or the outside of the truck, if you will. But that's not why. I forgot on the back of the unit there are some little tabs that go in. They're kind of like locator pins, one here and one here, that you have to drill holes obviously around the opening so that it fits in there. Again, right there, and that's why it wasn't shoving all the way in. So next I need to grab my pattern, because I did mark these, and go ahead and drill out holes so that these fit in, and then I'll show you it fits in snugly. Alright, got the pattern back on, again to mark these little nubs that come off of the unit itself. So I got to mark these and drill a couple holes, and then it should fit in there. We shall see. Alright, there we go. Nice tight fit. Check it out. We have success. Hallelujah. I'm not going to have to drive around with a hole in the side of my truck. So now it's a matter of drilling through for the hole, or the bolts rather, and getting those on. So I'll mark all these holes, and I am marking them with the unit on, obviously. That's where I want to check or mark. So I'm going to go ahead and mark all those. I'll get those holes drilled, and I'll show you what I'm doing for the screws. Okay, time to put my little nuts on in the back, and if you can see, they have these little teeth on them. I got these in intentionally so that hopefully they'll grab into the the back of the bed so that I can tighten the bolts down. But the other problem is, how do you get these on? You can't reach from the top and underneath at the same time. If you have help, somebody could hold them under there. But what I'm doing, I'm just running a piece of tape across them the long way, like so. And then I'm taping them up to the back, like these that are already on, because I should gently be able to thread the screws in without disturbing them, and get them tight enough screwed from the beginning, and the tape should get them to where they're tighter, and then be able to torque them down a little bit. That's my plan. So I'm going to go ahead, tape up the last one here, and get it stuck under there. Again, just a little bit of tape. This isn't rocket science, right? Tape it onto the back of the nut, like so. Try to get it in the middle. You want as much meat as you can have. And then, hopefully, just go ahead and stick it through the hole here. Let's see if I can show you guys. Yeah, right here. Stick it in the hole like that, and then go ahead and tape it down from behind. And the idea, again, is to hold it just tight enough and long enough to be able to get the screw threaded and going into the nut, right? That's the idea. So, we'll see if it works. I hope so. And if it does, that's great. As far as the tape on the back, you know, unless you're really, really particular, I'm not going to worry about pulling it off. It'll fall off eventually. All right, it's all done. The screws lined up. I got them all in. My little idea about the fasteners for the back worked perfectly. Let's take a look. I've left the door off so I can put it on with you guys. You can see here's what it looks like. Should look exactly like what the Tacoma used to look like back before Toyota decided we didn't need that anymore. So let me climb up here and we'll go ahead, put the door on for the first time. It just goes on like so, just like the original did. Not a big deal. And then you just turn the little clips there to hold it on. That's it. Look familiar? If you've had a Tacoma in the past, you probably would say yes, but not anymore. That's what it looks like. I will go over the fasteners and the part numbers here in just a minute. Real quick, let's take a look underneath so you guys can see. I can assure you it does fit. Now, under here, you take a look up there, you can see it right there. That is the box. Plenty of room. It's not touching the edge of the fender or anything like that. You can see my tape sticking through on the bottom. That would bother me if I was under here all the time, but of course, I am not. So, let's take a look at the part numbers. I've got everything laid out over here for you guys. If you want to order this, this comes from Sparks Parts, by the way, and if you use discount code Robmotive, you get 5% off. So what we've got right here, we've got the deck side trim, it says. There's the part number. This is actually the box itself, see? And then over here is the lid. There's the part number. It still says deck side trim, but this is the box lid itself. The hardware that you can get that comes with it is here. There is the part number. I would recommend not getting this because the one thing about this mod that you'll need is fasteners for the back, or nuts in other words. When you get this stock, if you still could, it would have inserted threaded bolts, I guess, in the composite bed itself. You can't buy those. Of course, the bed doesn't come with those, so you have to do your own thing. You can get the screws, but there's nothing to hold them on with. So what I did, I found these nuts. They're called T-nuts, pronged, stainless. And there's, get that to focus for you. There's the size. You would need those. They have those little prongs, like it says, to hold them onto the back. It worked really well. Then next, I just bought some flat black washers. There you go. That's just to take up a little space in the front. And then I bought screws. They turned out to be just a hair smaller than these. That's why I got the washers. But the screws are button head cap screws, 1/4 by 1. That's what I got. That's what you need, excluding this. I wouldn't get these. They won't help you. I'd get this whole kit, if you will, here. These parts all came from Lowe's, by the way. These came from Lowe's, and the box and the lid came from sparksparts.com. That's it. That's the whole project. It really wasn't too difficult. I think anybody can do it that's comfortable using a saber saw or a jigsaw. Other than that, make yourself a pattern the way that I described in the beginning, and you should be just fine. There is margin for error in this too, so it doesn't have to be exact. Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Something you're interested in doing, something you've already done, or why bother? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Robmotive FST, all about my brand new 2021 Toyota Tundra and my quest for the redesigned Tundra. Also, Robmotive JT, about my experiences with the Jeep Gladiator. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.